My name is Hiya and this is my January reading video. I have 4 books from January, one big chunker in there, and yeah, gonna talk about the books that I read and what I thought. Let's get started. Number 1 is Kazuo Ishiguro by And the Remains of the Day. Lovely story. It's about a butler that goes like on a country trip to re-meet with an old acquaintance with the former house, is it called housemaid? The main housekeeper. The main housekeeper from the house that he's still serving in as a butler. And he receives a letter from her, so he goes to meet her with like a little car trip across country. And as he's driving, he reminisces a lot on current events, because this is during the time when like England is changing, and it's sort of going away from this like butler and everything has to be proper and more to be a bit more like today. And he's totally against that. He very much reminded me of Carson in the TV series Downton Abbey. It was just like constantly, when I read this book, I saw Carson in front of me and I loved it. So it was very cute. I really enjoyed it. Some of the reminiscing went really far. And in the beginning, I was a little bit confused because I thought like it would be more like a traditional story that's just chronological. But through him just driving, like, so we're driving and then we go back into the past and then we continue the trip and then we go back into the past. And once I had that figured out, that like these thoughts, they're not just 1 or 2 pages, they're like actual like big parts in the story. I really enjoyed it, so that may be good to know that this is how this book is sort of put together. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was absolutely lovely. Putting this here into my lovely new bookshelf, which is half empty, so I need to buy a lot of books. Poor me. Number 2 that I read is Small Things Like These by Keegan. Also a short story in Ireland, I believe. And it's like taking place in this small village where it's like a society where kind of everyone knows everyone, and things are just the way they are, except for the small things. So it's really hard to like say what it's about without spoiling, in my opinion, too much. So I'm gonna try. But basically, it's a little bit about when you like see someone less fortunate than you, and and maybe in trouble or in need of help, and you have the means to help. And would you do it? How much would you do? Or would you just close your eyes and keep walking? And I think like that's kind of also what the title tries to say. And these small things, they can actually mean big things to someone else. And yeah, it was cute. I enjoyed this one, and it's a very short read, so it's definitely worth your time. So that was number 2. Ta-da! And then came the big one. I started the Expanse series. This is a sci-fi series by James S.A. Corey. The first one is Leviathan Wakes, and I loved it. So first off, the world building was really good. Like, even though I had no exposure to it, I know there is it an Amazon Prime series? Not sure. Anyway, there's a TV series for The Expanse with several seasons. I haven't watched anything, so I was completely new and fresh into this one, which was recommended to me by a friend, which thank you very much. And so I went in completely blind, besides knowing it's sci-fi and a little bit what it's about. But yeah, so the world building I really love, because it was told to you in a organic way. There was no like exposition dump or characters that are supposed to know things got it explained to them. No character with amnesia or something like that. So it was just like through the things happening and the people interacting with each other, that was enough to kind of learn the world, and even also to pique my curiosity. So I went to Google some concept art and things like that, because I was so curious like how some artists interpreted these things. So it's a lot about humanity in this book here. So we have, of course, the humans from Earth, But by this time in this novel, we have humans that live on Mars, and we also have humans that live on what they call the belt, some belt of asteroids. So basically they have like no real gravity there. I believe they have, yeah, they must have some sort of artificial gravity, but regardless, so those that didn't grow up on Earth, they also have different physiology because they're longer and thinner. And I love that idea, like because of the gravity pressing us humans down all the time. The ones that were born and lived somewhere else, they don't have that. And the ones on Mars are described as very strong. So yeah, I just like that. It's not exactly human alien races. It's humans being different, and I thought that was a very genius idea. I was a little bit disappointed when I heard that in the Amazon or in the TV series they didn't do that, because on the other hand, fair enough, how would you make an extremely long human being without CGI, I guess, or yeah, you can't pull someone that long, so fair enough. But anyway, in the book, in my head, I tried to apply it accordingly. It was really cool, and I also really enjoyed the characters. I thought the characters were very well made, the main ones here, and I was also sad about a certain loss. I'm not gonna say much, as always. I don't spoil, so which is a good sign though. It means I really cared, and yeah, I definitely can't wait to continue. In this book particularly, the title says it a little bit, Leviathan Wakes. So here we have like alien contact, and yeah, and shit hits the fan. Shit happens. So I don't think I want to say more. It's and then basically we as humans dealing with that, with this contact. So that was book number 1, and I will 100% continue with book number 2 soon. So that's that for Leviathan Wakes. And last but not least, or actually least in this case, Yasunari, Kawabata and Snow Country. This was recommended to me. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me. Let me first say, so it's about this man. Do we find out his name? Yes, we do find out his name. But regardless, so he's actually married, but every winter or so he goes to what he calls himself Snow Country. I don't think they ever say where he actually goes to, but basically it's like this country that needs to be reached by train, and he's from Tokyo, right? Yeah, I think so, because they talked about going to Tokyo, and he goes there and meets a certain geisha every time, and there's like this sort of relationship between the two, and in the blur, I think it talks about love. For me, I didn't get that feeling when I read it, and why it didn't really work for me. Number one, it was very slow, which sometimes can be fine if then the story in itself is very interesting and you're just taking it super slow, but also nothing much really happened. So yeah, and so in the end now I was like, okay, why did I read this? You know, like there was like no message or big happening or like wow effect, to me personally anyway. So yeah, so that was Snow Country. I mean, it's a very short read though, but my god, it's this tiny, right? But it took me so long to go through because it was just so uninteresting that I got so sleepy every time I started reading. So yeah. Oh well, that's okay. Those were my January books. I am reading now my February books. It's probably gonna be less in February because I'm again working on a big chunker. So excited to do that one and talk about that. I'm not gonna say what it is just yet. But yeah. Actually, if you are on my Instagram, you will know because I post from time to time what I'm currently reading. But for now, I'm gonna keep it a secret, and you'll see in my February video. So thanks for watching. I hope you are reading. I hope you're enjoying it, and let me know if you want to share anything. Bye.